Alright. Oopsie daisy. Alright, so that should have fixed that issue. So, welcome Ferris, how's everyone doing today? I feel like I should just do one thing. Okay. Now I shall survive. Perfect. So welcome to the stream everyone. Oh, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub, you are awesome Ferris. Take some money. Bruh, I'm gonna give back. Definitely, I mean, I could easily give you any shiny. If you'd like a shiny, just let me know. But for now, I just want to prioritize on addressing everyone. You know, I want to address anything that people want to find out. Because pretty much, my competitive history dates way back to I would say Gen 4, if I would say when I was serious. Anything before that was really childhood, just playing. But I have played since the first game I played was Game Boy. I mean, not Game Boy, freaking Pokémon Silver on the Game Boy Color when I was really young. And then after that I got Fire Red, and then I got Emerald, and then from Emerald I went to Diamond, and then Platinum. So I didn't play Ruby Sapphire. If I didn't mention that means I didn't play them. I played Diamond, Platinum. I didn't play Pearl. I played freaking, I think Heart Gold came before Black, or no, it was after. Well, I played Soul Silver. I didn't get Heart Gold. I played Black. I didn't play Black 2 or White 2. But anyways, pretty much a lot of my experience that I've gained has just been through playing leagues. So on the Pokemon Showdown servers, there was actually an alternate server called the Frost server, and what I did is I actually ran my own league, and I called it the Dauntless League. And how that ran was that we had our own members, each of them used their own type. It was like a monotype kind of thing. I also had another league which I was in on the Rayquaza forum. That was more of a weather theme, so I was a Sandstorm leader for that. So this is kind of like a new edition of a Sandstorm team. I mean, if you were to look at what they're running, it's just mostly offense. There's nothing too special about it, but again, this is not me. This is not about me. I'm just merely mentioning my past so you guys can kind of get an understanding of my credibility. It's not like I'm just some random guy who has an E4 title. Nah, I was literally the first Elite 4 member. You know what I mean? After Killer made it. So I've been around for a while, and it's you're a random guy. Yeah, I am a random guy. I'm a fucking random guy. But anyways, so someone said they wanted to find out how to use Aegislash. I mean, are they here right now? What kind of question do you guys have? Because, I mean, I can easily just head over here to Showdown. I can also, go over some team building, some compositions, some strategy. And, we're able to, look at full-on move pools, you know? It's we can actually, see... we can just pretty much see everything, you know. We can go through it and decide whether or not something is really good. We can see it on a stat basis, you know. We can actually compare stats. We can look up calculations on the calc.showdown.com, you know what I'm saying? This one we don't need. So yeah, you can also use the damage calculator. The thing is though, my chat is over here, so for me to see the chat I will have to do this. But Dugtrio Viable in this generation. Oh, I should just open it on my other monitor. Forehead. Let me just open up the Twitch chat again. So now I can look at it on this monitor. Big brain. Pause. So, Dugtrio Viable in this generation. Well, let's go ahead and take a peek at Dugtrio. Let's see what he gets. So, which one I could get rid of this one? Okie doke. For some reason my stream is like paused. Oh no, it was just delayed. Okay, I'm like, what the heck? Okie dokie, so this is Dugtrio over here. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be talking about the base version. So you have Sand Veil and Arena Trap. Arena Trap is a good ability, it allows you to trap in the enemy, though I think that it mostly benefits from revenge killing and I would say trapping for like stalling. So like Toxic, Leech Seed Stall, Perish Song, it would work really good with those kind of things. So whether or not the Pokemon is good, I would lean towards saying it's not good. And like the reason why I would say it's not good is just due to, one, its base stats are relatively low. It's not able to like kill many things. It can hit first, but it's the damage output itself is nothing to be like wary of, you know what I mean? On top of that, you're also looking at its weak defenses. So individually it's not really anything that's notable, you know. Individually it's easy to deal with. However, what makes it not trash, the reason why I said, listen, I didn't say it was trash, I said it's just simply not good. The reason why I say that is because there are positions that it could shine, you know. For example, with Arena Trap, this enables you, especially in doubles, for you to switch it in on an electric type and get that revenge kill, and they can't switch out, you know. They also can't use Volt Switch on you to get out because you're a ground type, so if they're Choice Scarf, they still can't get away from you. Also, if you have a Parasong Pokemon such as a Celebi, I mean, okay, maybe not Celebi. Let's bring it back a bit. Maybe like a Xatu. All right, you can use Earthquake, right? And your teammate will be immune to taking damage, but you're able to hit both enemies. You know, so it's like you can have a synergy where both of them can work together. You can have a Xatu. Xatu also gets access to what's it called? Heat Wave. So if we go back over here, you can actually see Xatu does get Heat Wave. So it's like adding Heat Wave on there gives you coverage against those not only steel types but grass types, you know. So it's like things like Ferrothorn and whatnot, you can easily handle those in a doubles team. You have Magic Bounce, that's also nice. So you could kind of run a tandem of like Xatu and Dugtrio together. I mean, Xatu gets screens, so that helps Dugtrio survive things which it might not be able to live, right? And then, I mean, screens are beneficial for the whole team. So, you know, the thing is, what I want to say is that looking at Pokemon and determining whether or not they're viable isn't just determined by their base stats. Because if you were to look at Dugtrio, like we just did, this Pokemon is trash. Base 35 HP. Bro, this Pokemon's trash. Come on now. But then when you think about the strategies that you can pull off, it's not so bad. It's just super situational. And due to how situational it is, it limits it and it puts it in a lower category. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just less reliable. It's less consistent. And it will be harder for you to climb and like overcome, you know, like more mainstream and adaptable teams, because it's really limited. That's all. So you would have to make a team which really caters to, you know, working alongside Dugtrio and its weaknesses. It's not like you have to build a whole team around it. Just make sure you have the one Pokemon that's like, okay, at least I can switch out and switch into this in case I'm threatened, you know. At least have that safe switch out, you know. And then on top of that, maybe have a Pokemon which benefits from having Dugtrio, so its role is fulfilled on both aspects, you know, like that Dugtrio, it ties in together. You feel what I'm saying? Like, for example, here with the Excadrill in the game, right, is that if I were to give an example here now, I mean, Hippowdon and Excadrill, you know, I don't have to set up the Sandstorm using max Rockfall in order for me to get the Sand Rush buff. And if, let's say, they have like a water Pokemon like a Pelipper, or anyone who uses Max Geyser, right, I have the ability to change the weather again. So like, let's say my Hippowdon comes out first, they bring out like a water type, they use Max Geyser on me, you know what I mean? Then at least I have the Tyranitar that can come back in. It's gonna change the weather, so I get my special defense buff, and then on top of that, it's like they either switch out and lose their Dynamax, or they continue to fight me. They no longer have the rain stab buff, right? So it kind of gives you like a safe switch out, even if it means you die. It's not like no matter what, there's nothing on this team which can switch into a max Geyser, so something has to take it. But it's the fact that you have a safe switch into it. You have the ability to not only change the weather from a weather which benefits them to a weather which benefits you, but then on top of that, put yourself in a position which pressures them. So able to pivot and continuously flip the momentum, keep the momentum in your favor. That's how you build efficient teams. So it's like, you know, you kind of gotta look for ways to like tie things together. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this team is highly susceptible to like water teams that have sweepers like Shell Smash, Barbarical, Cell Smash, Cloyster, Swift Swim. Anything poses threats for this team, because regardless, they're gonna hit with a super effective move with a good base stat. So it's like things like Sturdy is good because it allows you to live without having to use up your focus sash, you know. And I mean, that's pretty obvious, but the reason why it makes such a crucial, like such a big factor over here, is the fact that the sash is like something which you could use on something such as an Excadrill, which with the Sand Rush ability you could use Swords Dance and essentially get double speed and a +2 attack almost guaranteed, you know. So like, being able to save that sash is really good, but that's just simply saying how saving the sash is beneficial. When you want to look at a Pokemon and its versatility, I think I mentioned this earlier, Crustle with the Lumberry is now able to fend off statuses on top of having a built-in sash. So even though its stats aren't insane, its speed is relatively low, it's still able to be a relatively good threat. At a jolly nature of 207 speed, after one Shell Smash it reaches 414 speed, which is just slower than Dragapult, but is still able to outspeed Cloyster. No, it's not. No, definitely doesn't outspeed Cloyster. It doesn't outspeed that many things. In fact, it only outspeeds thing at +1. If it's like a Chlorophyll Sweeper or a System Sweeper, it's still gonna lose. But it does have Sturdy and has Lumberry, and that's the reason why it's balanced. That's the reason why it is in PU and not OU. Because even though it gains so much power, it has Sturdy, it has the ability to heal off status, it's still able to get outsped. You know, simply pop a Rain, pop a Pelipper in, and your System Ludicolo saying Hydro Pump, bye bye. So like, it doesn't really matter if you have a Shell Smash up, it's still able to be taken down. But it's like, it's just Pokemon like this, PU category, it's not bad. And the reason why I come to this is because that Dugtrio you mentioned is also low tier, but it's not the worst. It's just applying it is really hard. Crustle doesn't fit on many teams, Dugtrio doesn't fit on many teams. So it's just a matter of being able to understand their kits. So like, what I could do, I'd really want you guys to like tell me what you want to see, you know, cause like I can just ramble on like why I made things the way I did, but I mean, I want to be useful to you guys in terms of like helping you learn stuff that you want to find out, you know. If it comes down to like just team building, I can just go ahead and ramble about team building. I already rambled about the Sandstorm team, but I'll go ahead and ramble a little bit more because I like to ramble. It's perfectly fine. So if I were to remember that what I ran on this team now, I had the Barbarical here, which was running the Sash. This was a hyper offensive team, by the way. And then I had either a Gastrodon or a Ferrothorn. When I look at this team, I'm relatively sure it was a Gastrodon here with Storm Drain, because I needed a solid answer for the water type. And that's also why I'm not running Scald on this team, because my team is weak to grass, and it's going to be switching in on water types. So the odds of me wanting to use a grass type move when I'm in with Gastrodon is really low in the first place. You know, because this team is a hyper offensive team. It's not meant to Scald around and like pivot and stuff like that. It's not meant to do that, because if I Scald and they have like a Toxapex or whatnot, they're able to like switch it in and then set up Toxic Spikes on me. Now if I want to set up Tyranitar and Dragon Dance, or if I want to Crustle, Shell Smash, or whatever, I'm more vulnerable, you know, Hippowdon especially. So this team is not meant to like stall and do small little micro exchanges. No, this team is meant to set up something and bash. If I can't bash you, I'm gonna yawn you, make you switch, set up a stealth rock, and then wait for an opportunity for me to bring in either Excadrill or Crustle or Tyranitar, set up and sweep. If I can't sweep, I'm gonna go into Gastron or Hippowdon, make you switch out, and then try and sweep. That's how this team works. It's not meant to like stall and like make you switch. Nah, it's meant to just set up something and pound until it can't pound anymore. Once you scare me out, I like kinda shift you around again and I try and set up again and continue to sweep. It's a hyper offensive team. So this team could get worn down by taunt users and entry hazards, you know, because with taunt I can't set up, and then entry hazards it's harder for me to switch around and set up because while your Sash is gone, I mean, you're already losing life orb damage, so you're just easier to pick off. Your leftovers are now kind of less useful, you know. So at the end of the day, when I look at this team, when it comes to making Sandstorm team or any team in general, you just gotta think about its weaknesses. And when it comes to monotype and weather teams, it's especially important to look at these things because it is more easy for you to fuck them over. For example, it's just bro, if you bring in a Pelipper and a Ludicolo, what the fuck do I do? Explain. All I can do is like switch in my Hippowdon and hopefully my Excadrill is there, or switch in Tyranitar and then remove the rain and then get an attack off first. That's the best I can do at that situation. So it's kind of like, okay, at least in that scenario you have Shell Smash, you know, so it's like you can kind of get a 1-up, but it's like the only way that's gonna happen is if you change the weather. So it's like I can explain what I do in that scenario, I could pull it off, but it's like what I'm trying to say is that you have to think about how your team can be put at a disadvantage and think of how to counter it. That's how you build good teams. You think about how to beat your own team. So I look at this team like, okay, I'm weak to water types, so boosting your water type and having a lot of speed on top of that makes you like get fucked. How to counter that? Okay, have a Pokemon which can resist the first attack. Sturdy, check. Next step, have the ability to proceed to take out the threat. Okay, a boosting attack like Shell Smash. Step 3, get the ability to execute that attack before they attack you. How do you do that? Lower their speed. How do you lower their speed? Remove their Swift Swim ability, or remove their ability to use Swift Swim. How do you do that? Change the weather. How do you change the weather? By 1, having the lead Pokemon have weather, and by 2, having the ability to switch another weather into it, so you can control it at the beginning of the turn and during the turn. You feel me? So that's like how you think to get your way out of it. Now that only applies in doubles, right? So like it's mixed, because in singles it's now a little bit different. For example, if the Crustle was against the Pelipper, if I Shell Smash and then Rock Slide, Pelipper dies, right? Okay, that's a win. If it Scalds and I get burnt, it doesn't matter, Lumberry heals me, okay? Now, if it's Confusion with Hurricane, same thing, Lumberry heals me. Now, the Ludicolo, no, Ludicolo beats me. Ludicolo either A, uses Fake Out, kills my Sturdy, and then B, kills me with Hydro Pump, or the option 2 is it Dynamaxes, uses Max Geyser, brings me down to my Sturdy while I Shell Smash, and then it will proceed to outspeed me due to its double speed and still kill me. So, those are your two options. Either way, Crustle loses. So, it's like doubles versus singles. Knowing how to apply the Pokemon, it's like totally situational, you know, and all this comes down to your ability to like understand your own weaknesses. Understanding your weaknesses is the most important thing. The only way for you to like get really good is understanding your weaknesses, because once you think about that, everything comes clearly. Think of it like this. At the beginning of a battle, it's a 6v6. You see what they have, you see what you have. You can see what they have to counter your Pokemon. You see what their best chance of winning is. You see what they have, which can potentially be the most valuable to them. If I'm doing a monotype, if I have a mono fairy team, and I'm against a regular team, they have an Excadrill and then a couple other Pokemon. I'm going to pay attention to that Excadrill. If I have an electric team, they have a Hippowdon. I'm going to pay attention to that, you know? That's common sense now, but it applies to every single battle, even if it's not as black and white. What I mean by that is like, look at a Trick Room mon like Mimikyu versus a Trickovish. Okay, that's a bad example. That's like a shitty Mimikyu. No offense. That's like, it's just not the right one. If I pulled up like this Mimikyu, okay? Any Mimikyu that like has a decent set, okay? This set is a little bit more advanced. But at the end of the day, it's like Mimikyu and Dracovish don't really have any like special matchups. It's not like Dracovish versus Mimikyu is like famous, but it's just something which you're gonna encounter a fair bit of time because like you can freely switch it in, right? And you're able to stall out a turn with that, and depending on the scenario you can pull off a win if it's not scarfed. If it is scarfed, then you're gonna have to bring it in after it kills you, and then you proceed to attack. So like in this scenario I'm talking about is Trick Room. So like if you look at your opponent's team and you see that they have a lot of sweepers or a lot of fast Pokemon, it doesn't matter about super effective matchups so much if you can control the battle with the speeds. Because for example, it's like if I set up Trick Room, then it's like I know that I can go first, you know? So it's like either then I can proceed to attack you before you attack me, or I can switch and then bring in a Mon, which would normally be slower but would be faster otherwise, which then forces them to switch out. And that totally changes the battle. So like being able to like witness like threats, the only way for me to really explain that is just by doing an example battle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do an example battle. And like I can go ahead and talk about threads. This would be good because it allows me just to do like real-time analysis of things. We're just gonna do a regular single battle, and we're gonna use the Sandstorm team. I decided to take off freaking Rapid Spin off Exca. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like Rapid Spin on him because I am running a life orb, so you don't really need the Swords Dance as much, you know? But it's always gonna be between those two moves, really. Alrighty. Okay. Gastrodon is adorable. And before we get a team of Ubers, that'll be cool. Be nice to face off against the Sylveon, let it proc my weakness policy, and then just sweep them. That'll be pretty nice. Oh, we got a nice meta team. Perfect. So, we got Toxapex. I mean, it's just meta AF. So here I can go ahead and provide you guys the best textbook example of how to use weaknesses and like apply strategy. This is amazing. I'm so glad that I faced a normie. I'm so glad it's a freaking normie. Oh my god, this is amazing. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a textbook example out of this guy. So, I mean, right off the bat, his best leads is either the Choice Dracovish or Choice Darmanitan. Dragapult's also a good lead. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I can start off with my own Barbarical. That is pretty decent, though against the Scarf Dracovish, that might be I mean, I do have okay. Just in case it's Dragapult, I'm gonna start off with Barbarical. And the reason why I say that is because, as we declared earlier with calculations, after a Shell Smash, Crush does not outspeed Dragapult. The only issue that I'm experiencing right now is if he's running a Scarf Dragapult, then I will not outspeed him. After a Shell Smash with my Barbarical, I'll still not outspeed him. That's the main issue right now. If he is Scarf Dracovish, I don't think he is too fast. Oh gosh. Why is he named Suicide now? This lead is intriguing. Really intriguing. Tempting. Super tempting. If I go into Hippowdon, he has Dracovish. He has Dracovish, I have Gastrodon. So, it just makes more sense to do this. He's probably going to set up a rock. If he goes for Earthquake, that's fine. If he's banded, that will be problematic. Let's see if he's banded. Alright, we're fine. So he's going to bring in Dracovish now. We can either go for the Yawn or go for the Stealth Rock. I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rock. Or he goes for his own Stealth Rock. Okay, so he's not banded. Well, obviously not banded, but he's not scarfed. Okay, so now he's also not focused at. Simple question: why was Seismitoad popular than Gastrodon? Oh, I thought I attacked for something. Oh shit, I was watching the stream because I was reading your message. Okay, why was Seismitoad more popular? So, I mean, Seismitoad is more popular because people like the fact that he was more versatile, in the sense that, unlike Gastrodon, it was more defensive, and it's like you either have to choose between a special tank that's that's fully invested in special defense and HP, or a physically defensive Scald version with like bold and physical EVs. So you both set up rocks. I can go for a heal. I can just go for an earthquake. He might go into Togekiss. Hopefully not. So I can go for E2. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, Gastrodon, you had to decide whether or not you went with a special or physical wall. Now, surely you had to decide whether or not to go with a special or physical attacker with Seismitoad. However, the difference is that Seismitoad had the offensive versatility. No matter what, if you went with special or physical, you had Poison Jab or Sludge Wave. If you went special or physical, you had Grass Knot or Power Whip. You went special or physical, you had Earth Power or Earthquake, and a Hydro Pump or Liquidation. The difference with Gastrodon is that when you go defensively, you don't have the same versatility. So you can choose whatever your team needed. If you need a special attacker, physical attacker, Seismitoad. If you need a special wall, you could go Gastrodon. If you need a physical wall, you could go Gastrodon. But it had a weakness, and the weakness was simply the opposite spectrum. And it was hard. It was kind of hard until I pulled it off. It wasn't as reliable. Well, I can't say that. Actually, that's bullshit. It's definitely not. Nah, it's definitely reliable. It's just that their roles were completely different. The roles were completely different, and people preferred having that offensive versatility at that time. Now, as you guys see, nowadays, we actually prefer having Gastrodon. We actually prefer having Gastrodon now, but before, Seismitoad was preferred. So, we got Stealth Rock. He's gonna go for an Icicle Crash. So, I don't like Icicle Crash. I mean, Gastrodon's gonna be super important. I'm just gonna let this guy die. I'm just gonna let him die. He needs to die. Interesting. Well, I thought he was gonna die. Really interesting. If I knew he was gonna live, I would have went for Yon. But I genuinely expected him to die. I was just planning to let him die, and see guys, look, this is a huge pivot, because I specifically wanted it to die, so I got the turn of Sandstorm for me to bring in Excadrill. Now I have to check to see how many turns I have, and we have 1. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Fuck. Now things are just amazing. So now I have to sacrifice it in vain. You see this? I had a genuine strategy to combat this, and now I have to like sacrifice something. I have to like sacrifice a Shell Smasher, and it like, what the frig, bro? What do I even do? All I can think is use Tyranitar and hope that he is not, and hope that he is choiced. Because if he is choiced, he's gonna switch out. If he's not choiced, he's not gonna switch. If I protect, oh, that's not gonna work. There's no Sandstorm. Fuck. Oh my god, I'm here thinking that there's Sandstorm. See guys, this is what happens. This is what happens when you fucking lose track of your... Well, not lose track, more like if your plan gets thrown off a derail. So, Icicle Crash incoming. I mean, I didn't want to break Tyranitar too early, and I need Gastrodon for this. However, the thing is, if Hippowdon lived, I'm definitely gonna live. So then what move should I go for? Ice Beam is pretty solid. He's probably going to want to bring in his Togekiss. If he gets the weakness policy, I don't care too much. but I do at the same time. Earth Power kinda works. Who does Earth Power hit? I guess it hits enough people. Okay, well at least we dodged it, but I was definitely gonna live it. The only reason why I was kinda concerned is because there's a chance for you to flinch. That's the only reason I was somewhat concerned. Besides that, it wasn't too big of a deal. Like, if I flinched there, then it would have been a really bad situation. Because then I would have been forced to, like, start, like, chipping into, like, my resources. And that's the thing. This team, as I said, was hyper-offensive. I don't have the freedom to just freely go around and switch, and have fun like that. I kind of got to set up a sweeper. You know, and now I'm into my second pivot, my only pivot at the worst time. So now I got to hope that I can blow through his whole team in one go. So, since Stealth Rock is up, I know I can sweep him. It's just that Dragapult in the back, which I have to be careful of, because if he is Scarfed, he will outspeed my Barbarical and kill me. That's the only thing which threatens me right now. Barbarical will one-shot his entire team, except for that if I get outsped, but... Well, actually, yeah, and then if Dracovish is Scarfed, I definitely outspeed that. So yeah, it's just a Dragapult. So, Suicide Guy... You're just gonna go for an EQ... Is he gonna Dynamax Quake? If he Dynamax Quakes, that's kind of annoying. But he's not that smart. Alright, good. Ugh! Come on, bro. You are killing me! You're killing me! You're killing me, bro! What is this battle? Bro, what are you guys doing to me right now? What are you actually doing to me? You guys seeing this shit? Bro, who's gonna take an earthquake now? Nobody's gonna take an earthquake, bro. Nobody's gonna take an earthquake. Nobody, bro. Freaking nobody. And I need this. I was gonna go into Crustle and shut up a Shell Smash. Cause I would have gotten that up regardless. Cause if you think of it, the Earthquake crit did like 2/3, just over 2/3 of my damage. Crustle has way more defense than my specially defensive Gastrodon. So when I switch it in, I'm taking less damage, and don't forget that critical hit means that it did twice the damage. So I'm taking less than half of the damage. Less than half of that damage on my Crustle on the switch in. And then since I attack second, I get the Shell Smash after he fires off the Earthquake if he decides to stay in. So that guarantees that I at least get the Shell Smash up. Now if he does not go into Dragapult or let's say a Scarf Dracovish, then that means that you get a free kill. If he has a Scarf Pult, no, if he brings in Pult or if he has a Scarf Dracovish, then it gets sticky for that situation. But that means that I was able to at least turn things around for a second there. So that is an example of how you can still get yourself out of a sticky situation. But it all comes down to just understanding your weaknesses. And like as you guys see, like my weaknesses were just merely getting exploited there. As an example, due to Sandstorm being down, it's like you're unable to capitalize on double speed and proceed to revenge kill. And it's like the Pokemon that was out at the time threatened my other Pokemon, which was able to set up this other Sandstorm. So you kind of got to think about that, you know? So that's how you truly become a better trainer. It's not really just like having good Pokemon. It's like being able to understand your weaknesses and like trying to like not only build teams that work with them, but also they're able to like switch you out of scenarios. You gotta be able to think about what scenarios put you in a bad position so that you can think of how to get yourself out of those scenarios for when they arise. That's why I spent like most of the time in the turns just blabbling, because when it came down to it, I already kind of knew what to do. I can just look at the situation like, okay, yeah, this is this. I have to sacrifice this, or you sacrifice that. It's one or the other. Once you can bring it down to that, Once you can understand, okay, in order for me to overcome this, I need you. So this is not essential and this is not essential, but this is essential. You know, you kind of gotta look at it, you gotta look ahead and kind of like look at it like that. So it's like, I was just getting mad because since I'm looking so far ahead, when something that happens in the moment, which like changes what I want to do, it just vexes you, because now it's like, now I gotta change this, and change this is not gonna go the same way. You know, so it just puts me in my feelings, but at least I have the experience to not let my feelings overcome me and like make like the worst decisions. You know what I mean? It's like I made a mistake in that battle when I switched in Gastrodon and assuming that I could use Protect to stall out the Darmanitan, but I wasn't silly in the sense that I was looking at Gastrodon in the first place because it could have at least held up against the Darmanitan in that situation, regardless if Sandstorm was up or not. It's not like I switched it in and then I realized like, oh shit, I'm dead. It's not like that. It's just like, oh shit, I'm taking another hit. I never accounted for that extra hit. So you're still in that same situation. The only reason why it was so bad was because I got critted. I wasn't intending to take so much damage, and that's what brings me to my next point, guys. Did you guys notice this too? Was the fact of how much damage was being done. My Gastrodon is specially defensive, but I somehow... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say I lived an Icicle Crash and a crit from Earthquake. I'm like, was this Pokemon not EV? But then I remembered he didn't hit me with Icicle Crash, so it doesn't make sense. I was gonna say his Pokemon weren't EV'd, because I'm like, how do you live an Icicle Crash and a crit Earthquake? But yeah, okay, next battle. We'll use the same team. Bro, hopefully I can get another example of just overcoming a situation, because that was sticky. It was I like that example because it forced me to adapt. It forced me to change my plan. It forced me to play differently. You know, like I wanted to sweep him, but I just couldn't sweep him the way I wanted to because he was getting lucky for sure, but he played well too, you know? Like he played in an unorthodox manner which was only unorthodox because he was thinking like how I'm telling you guys to think, you know? He wasn't doing the textbook move, he was kind of doing the big brain move, if that makes sense. And like I kind of looked at him as a normie in the beginning. When I looked at this team, I'm like, oh my god, LOL, you have a Smogon set for every single Pokemon on your team. I know you have a Scarf Dracovish, I know you have a Weakness Policy Togekiss, I know that you have this, I know you have this, I like look at his team like I know all the moves and all the items and all the natures and all the abilities of your Pokemon just by looking at your team. That's how I felt. So due to that, I was kind of like super confident going into the match. But then when you face up against them, you understand that even though you know everything, you still have to deal with them. And it's like that was definitely really humbling when I got critted for one. But the most humbling experience of it all was when I survived the Icicle Crash and I lost to Sandstorm. Because once that Sandstorm was gone, I just realized how at mercy this team really can be if the other team is just freaking properly built. Like, without that Sandstorm, if they have... Dude, Dragapult alone outspeeds my fastest Pokemon and my strongest Pokemon, which is technically the Barbarical, and that is if Dragapult is if it's Scarfed. You know, but that in itself means that it can hit every single Pokemon on my team first, no matter what, because I have no Trick Room. So that means no matter what, he's guaranteed to get a first hit. That's crucial. That's huge. The whole point of this game is to minimize the amount of damage that you take, and right now you're telling me that there is an irrefutable way that you can get damage on me, potentially landing a crit or doing something game-changing. That right there is scary. The only way I could possibly overcome that is what I said. The Sandstream and like the Sandstorm and the Sand Rush. That's the only way I could avoid getting outsped and killed first by a Scarf Dragapult. That's the only way. Like, he's fast, you know. So it's like not everyone has to worry about Scarf Dragapult, but that's the funny thing. I run him because I acknowledge how freaking stupid it is. People are like, why do you need a Scarf on Dragapult? It's already fast. This is why. It's because it's so fast that there's nothing you can do, bro. Who cares about your Togekiss at +3 max airstreams? I don't, because I'm gonna come in there and hit you with a Thunderbolt. You see what I'm saying? So it's like either like some Pokemon, it doesn't matter how well you understand the game. It doesn't matter how well you know abilities, how long you've any of this stuff. It doesn't matter. What really matters is your ability to understand how to like overcome your weaknesses and overcome scenarios. Your ability to look at a whole situation and assess what Pokemon are needed, how to apply them in what order. That's what truly makes you like really a skilled battler, and the ability to apply that across the spectrum in other tiers and in other formats makes you a more rounded individual. That's what I aim to be, you know. So like, as much as I could be playing VGC, for one, when I did play VGC, I was getting slapped once I like hit like Master Ball, bro. Like I hit Master Ball, and then after Master Ball it's like woof, bruh. You know, and it's like, it's not to say I can't do VGC, it's just, if I wanted to do VGC, I had to like focus so hard on like keeping up with the meta and like building around the meta that it's like, it kind of took away from the time that I spent doing what I wanted, which was like focusing on everything. I like being more rounded. So it's like, against like a VGC 2020 winner, obviously they're gonna like freaking be able to give me a run for my money, or probably freaking beat my ass in a VGC doubles battle. But now when it comes to like a single battle or whatnot, I can 100% hold my own against them, because I have before. I've actually faced against Pocket Boy, and I brought him down to his very last Pokemon, and he killed me 1-0. Like I had like he had freaking like yellow HP, and it was a super duper close battle, and he is like top in the states, like top 20. It's freaking crazy. But yeah, so I said I was gonna do a battle. I wanted to use this team again. I guess we can use this team again. I mean, this team isn't so exciting, bro. This team really isn't. It's freaking not. This team is not exciting. It's really not, bro. Like, it's a freaking Dragon Dance Weakness Policy Tyranitar. Normie as fuck. You got a Shell Smash 30 Crustle. Okay, yeah, that's OP. That's cool, bro. You got a freaking Sand Rush. Like, bro, it's just a freaking sand team that's meant to abuse. That's all it is. So, you can do pretty decent with this team, but it's easy to counter depending on it. It's nothing special. It doesn't require any intense knowledge, any experience to pull off, you know. So I wanna talk to you guys about things which you actually like really need to understand and learn, because any of you guys can figure out how to use these Pokemon. These Pokemon you guys don't need my help with, but like things people are talking about like Aegislash, yeah, that could use a little bit more of a tutorial. I can go over how to use him. Things like Chinchino. I mean, again, this is not the right Chinchino. It's probably somewhere. Yeah, there's this one. So like Chinchino. I mean, everything has a use, right? It's just that they can only shine. Some of them only shine when they have certain partners, you know. So I think the best way for me to demonstrate that is just by cranking out battles and like just doing a bunch of different shit, so you guys can like experience it and see for yourself. So, for example, here's a water team, a rain team which I made. This team is super normie. I just meant it to abuse. In fact, I just genned a Dracovish and I never got to use it yet. This is gonna be the first time I'm actually using a Dracovish in Gen 8. I have never used Dracovish before, up until now, and I'm like, yo, I just want to be a freaking normie and like just be an asshole. So you guys, guess how I'm an asshole? I want to show you guys what I did. Damp Rock, Pelipper, extend the rain. Jolteon with Volt Absorb, meaning electric types that want to attack you, you switch in. Also heals Stealth Rock damage, by the way. But on top of that, 100% accuracy on Thunder in the Rain with a choice specs and a modest nature. Not timid, modest nature. Modest specs. Alright? Now, in the rain, this is a doubles team, by the way. Discharge heals my Jolteon, but it also attacks both enemies. Thunder in the Rain, 100% accuracy, okay? If I have a teammate here, like a Pelipper, I can't use Discharge until I switch in Jolteon, meaning that if Jolteon's not here, I pretty much can't use that move at all. which is okay. I'm fine with risking the fact that Thunder can miss if Rain is not up, but it's relatively easy for me to get Rain up given how I have the Pelipper and a couple Pokemon that could use Max Geyser, okay? So that aside, yes, it has its downfalls, but that's kind of why it is the way it is. Next, Nasty Plot is there. Ludicolo does give you access to Fake Out, so you can essentially use Fake Out on the Grass type or the Mold Breaker Pokemon with a ground move to nullify them for that turn, so you can Nasty Plot. And then depending on whether or not you're faster, you can proceed to then set up your Max Geyser. If you aren't faster than them, then you're going to need to Max Geyser with Rotom first or switch out. But at the end of the day, it's like Mold Breaker, Ground type, you have your Pelipper there, you're not too worried about that. The Dracovish, on the other hand, Choice Scarf, alright, Vicious Rend, add the Rain on top of that. You guys know what that means. I'm not going to talk about it. Jirachi, this is where it gets interesting. This is running a band, alright? And it's like, the reason why it's running a band is because things like Ferrothorn, when you use Fire Punch on it, it's going to live regardless if it's Choice Banded or not. But at least with the band, if it has Leech Seed and Protect, you know that it's going to die on the second turn, regardless. Like on the third turn, I should say. If you don't run that, it's going to be able to stall you, like a little bit. It's gonna get that extra those two protects, which are gonna be annoying. So it matters. And then like Iron Head with a band is just like, yo, that now turns from a move to counter things that are just weak to it to a move to counter everything. What I mean by that is like, look at Como O here, just for a solid example. This is not built up or anything like that. It's just Como O versus Jirachi now. I can now use Iron Head against it, and it's actually hitting for damage, while probably locking it into flinches. So, even though the Scarf is nice, it's just that you already have a Swift Swim Pokemon, as well as a Pokemon with like base 110 speed. So, I think it's 110. Bro. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure it's 110. I gotta double check this. Fuck, it's 130. What is 110? I'm curious. Ah, I thought it was 350. It's 394. 394. Okay, so 394 is its max speed. Yes, indeed. Okay, so what was I saying now? I was talking about the Scarf. Oh yeah, so yeah. Freaking Swift Swim is already there. You kind of have your speed, right? You kind of have your speed covered, so the Scarf isn't as necessary. It offers different coverage, yes, but it's not as necessary. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire up a battle. Now, as I mentioned, this team is a super normie team. It's meant to just capitalize on Rain and just simply attack the enemy, taking advantage of it. It's not really meant to be diverse or versatile. It's not nearly as intricate as the team which I was battling with before. You know, like this isn't even running an air balloon, so by itself, I mean, it's pretty much useless against a ground type. Okay, like Arena Trap, Dugtrio will fuck this. Okay, like there's nothing that you can do in that situation. And it's just funny, right? And then look at that, it has 3 of the same stab at the same time as that. And I merely did that just because it's like, its move pool is so trash, but then it's just to maximize the use of its choice specs. It's just meant to spam electric moves with the choice specs in a modest nature. It's nothing special, but again, that's what it all comes back to, guys. This is all basic. Anybody can do this. Anybody can look at a team and be like, oh, I acknowledge that Rain gives Thunder 100% accuracy, so I'm gonna give it on a Pokemon that has a lot of speed, a lot of special attack, give it a choice specs and call it a day. Big fucking brain. That's not the point. The point is being able to get out of the situations using that team. And that's kind of why I stress people battling. Like, y'all need to battle and like dabble with a variety of things to like get yourself exposed to different things. Because if you, that's why in the Battle Frontier I said I'm gonna do every single tier except for OU. Why? It's not like I can't do OU. It's not like I don't have 5 boxes of OU Pokemon. It's not like I don't know how to do OU. It's just, it's OU, bro. I'm used to it. Like, it's nothing new. You know, like, maybe when the DLC comes, it's definitely gonna be new, and maybe I'll change my mind then. But for now, you know, I'm like, I want to kind of, you know, get some fun with other things. I want to be more rounded. I want to be able to talk about freaking Eeveelutions baby Pokemon and shit like that. you know, because like the other day, I was so intrigued by that. Like we were talking about Tangrowth, and I'm like, oh yeah, people do use a Violite baby Pokemon instead of the evolved form, and I'm like, why? Why does it make sense to do that if you can just use leftovers? So I started crunching numbers, and then I realized like, so it's like if you run leftovers, then it benefits, but if you don't run leftovers, it doesn't benefit. And it's like, that is true to an extent. That's only true if the base stats of the Pokemon allow that for it to be the case, because Eviolite scales off based off percentage, and due to that, it's not as effective on each individual Pokemon. And it's when you start thinking like that, when you start like really starting like crunch numbers. So that's my next point, guys. Get used to crunching numbers, man. Freaking Showdown damage calculator, that shit's fucking amazing, bro. That shit is so good. You want me to show you how good it is, guys? I'm excited. I will show you how good this is. Check this out. This is like one of the most amazing things that you'll see. You guys will be like, what the fuck? You guys are gonna cry. I'm gonna show this to you. Look at this. Look, wait, where is it? I have actually my Frostlass, my other Frostlass. Where is it? This right here, guys. What the heck is this set? What is this? What is this? What is this meant to do? I'm just to put it in comparison. People are gonna look at this and be like, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. This makes no sense. This is dumb. These sets have two totally extremely different applications. Look at the speed stat. Look at the attack stat. That's freaking stupid. It looks like I have max special attack EVs in something that has no special attacks. What the fuck are you doing? I've been running it like this for like what, a month almost? LOL. That's cool. I've been getting wins with a set like that. Okay, anyways, what I wanted to show you guys was this. Due to number crunching, this Frostlass is able to win a 1v1 against Dragapult. It's able to win a 1v1 against a lot of special attackers. Alright, like when I say a lot of special attackers, I mean a lot of special attackers. Now, if it's like a Chandelure with a choice specs, or a Dragapult with a choice specs, that's different. But if they don't have the choice specs, this is actually able to live, and revenge kill. Like, you can full on switch it in, make it face tank the hit, and revenge kill it. It can just straight up eat it. So that's really useful, because that only comes down to its checks. What I mean by that is that if you were to see me using a Frostlass and you had a Dragapult, you're gonna bring in the Dragapult because you know that it outspeeds me and that you have a move that could one-shot it. But with the set that I'm running, which is super unorthodox, which no one's ever gonna expect, it doesn't get one-shotted. So you end up losing your Dragapult because of my unorthodox set, and people are like, what the hell, why, who runs that? And this is why, because it's super situational. Now people are gonna be like, but it only helps against Dragapult. It's like, no, it helps against literally everything that's special, because look at this toxicity. I can switch in against you. I'm now resistant to your poison moves, but now on top of that, I'm now like one-time resistance to your overdrive or your electric stab. Okay, and on top of that, I get Psychic. So now I can pound you down. I can switch in on Lapras, okay? I can switch in on Lapras. I can switch in on Togekiss, okay? I can risk the Air Slash flinches. I can risk the Fire Blasts. I can risk it. I know I can switch it in and live without a Focus Sash or Light Screen. And Revenge Kill. Being able to have that dependability and is like really solid, you know? But again, it just comes down to application, and like Frostlass isn't really the best Pokemon, you know, like it's just I had to make a Monotype Ghost team, and I had to figure out, okay, these are the Pokemon I have available to me, I gotta figure out how to make them work. And this was a way I figured out how to make it work. It's either A or B. B has to remove the special attack and add it in something else. I don't know. I'm iffy on that, because when you add HP bulk, it starts becoming harder for you to use Destiny Bond. Because you're starting to anticipate, like, okay, this used to be able to one-shot me, but now it's like, with all this HP, I might not be getting one-shotted. And then it's like, at that point, you might you just set yourself up, you know? Like, for example, I can be up against an Inteleon, right? So, like, right now, if Inteleon uses Snipe Shot on me, I know that, like, I have to use Destiny Bond, alright? Like, the next turn, because he's gonna kill me. But it's like, if I'm running Bulk, he's still gonna kill me next turn. So actually, that's a bad example, because you still die next turn with the Sash. Like, I don't know how to explain it. What I'm trying to say is that with the only difference here really is that with this set, you lack the bulk, so you need the Sash to survive for the second turn, whereas the other one, you don't need the Sash in order to survive for the second turn. But what makes it different is that it's just harder to predict that second turn, because with the Sash, it's like, okay, pretty much you know you're getting it if you bring it in at max, as long as it's not a multi-hit attack. Whereas, like, if you're not with the Sash, it's like, yo, it might actually just one-shot me, and I might just have to use Destiny Bond this turn. And due to that, it also means that you might simply switch it in, and all you can do is Destiny Bond. You might switch it in, it's like, oh shit, I'm against a choice-banded Jirachi, all I can do is Destiny Bond and die. Whereas now, it's like you can set up a Spikes or a Thunder Wave, and then Destiny Bond it next turn. So the Sash is definitely more ideal, like, for this kind of a set. That's not debatable. What I was mostly talking about was the special attack versus HP EVs. And, like, the only time that really changes is, like, if it's just super negligible, because, like, the only scenario I think about it changing is, like, perhaps let's say you get hit by, like, a Snipe Shot or a Hydro Pump, you're down to, like, yellow HP, and now you're in the range of being picked off by, like, a Bullet Punch will always pick you off, but, like, a priority move. And, like, priority moves are just priority moves. They're gonna get their hit in and kind of make that extra difference. I don't think that you should compensate for priority moves. I think it's kind of the same sense of, like, any Sash user, any Shell Smash user should be wary of priority users and should just play accordingly. So for that reason, it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult for me to look at this set and say that I'm an idiot for running 252 special attack EVs in a Pokemon which has 0 special attacks, because that allows me to make the Destiny Bond and like use the Sash a little bit differently. You know, it makes it more reliable in the sense that it's easier for you to trigger it and harder for you to make it less, like, harder for you to render it inoperable. Does that make sense? So it's like, being able to figure all these things out and how to figure out what is optimal to use comes down to crunching numbers. It comes down to figuring out, okay, what Pokemon in the first place get access to this move? Okay, now out of the Pokemon that get access to it, how often do they run it? Does that move happen to be beneficial for them? For example, Leopard. Leopard gets Sucker Punch, but is it Sucker Punch hitting the same way as a Bisharp? Do you have to compensate or factor your set being able to go up against a Sucker Punch Leopard? No, you don't. But Sucker Punch Bisharp? Yeah. You should probably pay attention and maybe calculate and add those extra EVs so that you don't get fucked by a priority sweep. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you need to crunch the numbers. Like, it's not just a matter of understanding, oh, I know you get this move. Oh, I know you're supposed to be a timid nature. I know. Like, nah. It's like, yo, it's so situational. That's why PU Pokemon can be trash but still sweep an OU team. You know, it's like, it just comes down to the individual and their ability to comprehend. And I just want to help people acknowledge just how vast everything is, you know, just how much capabilities there are. And it's just, I feel like I've been rambling a lot. I have been, but I see what you say, Ferris. Like, you're tired of classical sets, and it's like, I just want to know what you guys want to, like, really learn. Like, do you guys just want to see me, like, show you guys some cool things? I can show you cool things. Like, I just showed you one cool thing. You want to see another cool thing? Sure, I can show you another cool thing. Okay, here's a combination that you can use for doubles. I might have showed it to DB, maybe. I don't even think I did. Maybe I did. But this standing ovation doubles. Guys, do you want to see something fucking epic? Epic as fuck. I'm hyping it because it's fucking epic. Guys, this is the pinnacle. This is a pinnacle. Guys, check this the fuck out. Ally Switch Gardevoir paired up with Diggersby in a Trick Room setup, bro. This is fucking disgusting. disgusting. I fucking puke. I look at this and I vomit, bro. Look at this, okay? Gardevoir is weak to the ghost type attacks. Okay. Okay. You're a normal type. I can ally switch, and now, instead of doing damage to me, I'm immune. But wait. What just happened? Are you telling me that I just turned a super effective attack into something which did no damage? It didn't just reduce the damage, it did no damage. Wait, what? And then on top of that, I can proceed to then, wait a minute, attack that same Pokemon which threatened me? Oh shit. Whew. Hold on, but wait, there's more. Hold on. You're telling me that you're weak to water types, but you get access to Thunderbolt? Hold on, but wait, there's more. So doesn't Gyarados run around with like max Airstream and like max Geyser and like sweep the fuck out of teams? Okay, it does. But doesn't that get rendered useless by Trick Room? Oh, it does! Oh snap, so you're telling me that essentially with my Focus Sash I can live your Waterfall on either Pokemon and set up Trick Room and then proceed to attack you with a move that is 4 times super effective against you? With a Life Orb? Oh shit! But wait, there's more. Wait a minute, aren't you weak against Steel type Pokemon? But wait, you're Stab Earthquake! Oh man! But wait a minute, doesn't that hit me too? Oh shit, you have Telepathy! Wait a minute, that means that you don't get hit, but the other two get hit! Oh shit! But wait a minute, what if it's like a Ferrothorn? That still threatens me and it doesn't die to Earthquake. You have Fire Punch! Isn't that 4 times super... Bro, you guys see what I'm saying? The synergy with this combination is disgusting! It's disgusting! The synergy between these two Pokemon alone can compensate to cover the spectrum of more than half of the offensive typings. Just these two. It's so nasty. His ability doubles his attack stat. He gets Swords Dance. It's fucking disgusting. Guys, I don't share this with people. I don't share this with anyone. I've only shown this like maybe like one person, bro. This is like a secret that I've had for a while. I run this, bro. This shit's fucking legendary. It's legendary, bro. And like, I'm not gonna share this much more. I'll just share it to you guys who are here. I'm not gonna like share it like in the chat or anything like that. But bro, I love this so much. It's so good. I highly recommend it. So I mean, pretty much how it works: Quiet Nature, max special attack, minimum speed with a Trick Room, max attack, minimum speed. Same ideal. It's meant to sweep in Trick Room. Okay, so like, you're just gonna have to play and like try and set it up, because if you don't get the Trick Room up, then the Diggersby is gonna get fucked by like anything that can attack first. I mean, that's why the Focus Sash is there, right? The reason why Swords Dance is there is because when you set up Trick Room, you could also go for a max guard, so it's also there if you need to get that extra turn, you know, like if your sash is broken, or if you just can't afford to go down to your sash and you need to like guard, you get max guard with Swords Dance. So it's actually a pivot. It's actually pretty important there, because you need that turn to set up the Trick Room to then turn into that sweeper in many scenarios. Alright, ally switch is just there to keep you safe, so it's really good combination. Those two, I can show you guys other combinations that aren't as OP as this, if you guys want. I was just thinking about one as I said that. Fuck. Oh yeah, it came down to the toxicity and the freaking Kling Clang. I think people know about that one. It was these two. I don't even think that this one was right. No, this one's the wrong Kling Clang. This one's supposed to have Gear Grind. What I did was I made this for like a really specific team. I don't even remember the team anymore because I just stopped using it. It wasn't as effective. Like the reason why it wasn't as effective because it was super inconsistent. Like the synergy and the logic behind the strategy is great. It's too inconsistent to pull off regularly. That's really all it is, because it relies on you like just living. It relies on you living and living and living until you turn into God. Think of it like this: Air Balloon prevents you from getting hit by ground type moves. Awesome. Shift Gear boosts your speed by 2 stages and your attack by 1 stage. Drain Punch gives you the ability to attack things like Excadrill and Ferrothorn, okay? So that's why it's there. Now, it doesn't do much damage to Ferrothorn, okay? But Ferrothorn, on the other hand, doesn't do much damage to Toxtricity, so that's perfectly fine. Excadrill, on the other hand, it's not gonna die from a Drain Punch, and it will kill you in one hit if your Air Balloon is gone. So that is a problem. It's not the best way to remove Excadrill. If you don't have a Shift Gear up, you will get fucked. Okay? Now with Klinklang, what are you doing against an Earthquake if your Air Balloon is gone? Ally Switch is not saving you. So it really only works against individual ground types who have things like high horsepower, and on top of that you gotta predict using Ally Switch on the right Mon, because their high horsepower hits both of you for super effective damage, so they can choose either one, you know, so you don't really know which one they're really going for. You feel me? So like all these moves here, like Magnetic Flux, Gear Up and all that, is literally meant to like, it's literally meant just to buff them, okay? So this raises the attack and special attack stat of my ally. It's meant to buff it. So like in the turn where I could be attacking, I'm really just buffing myself, that's all. It's not really the best. It's really not the best, you know? Magnetic Flux, it buffs your special defense and your defense. So again, it kind of turns you into more of a wall. It might not seem like much, but it's not the worst either. And the reason why I say that is because look at Toxtricity. Like, in his current form, he's not the most bulky, yes, but in Dynamax, it turns into something else. You can still use Gear Up, and you get a lot more bulk. You feel me? And like, since I went with a mixed attacker, I'm using a minus special defense nature. Alright. Because I want to keep as much physical attack as I can. But yeah, like, this guy is EV'd a little bit differently. He's not EV'd for maximum speed. He's EV'd for max special attack and then a little bit more bulk investment. So some of the HP and a little bit of speed. You don't want him too slow, but this is where it comes down to the calculation. So you guys want to see? Dragapult with a plus speed nature at max speed IVs and EVs is 420 speed. Me, after a single shift gear, is 422 speed. If I had like 4 or 2, if I had just one less speed value, I would be tied at Dragapult after a shift gear. And on the other hand, if I invested more, who the fuck am I outspeeding, because nobody outspeeds Dragapult without buffs. So in a sense, this is really it. It's either you buff to this number, or you buff all the way and try to catch up to like other Scarfs and other Chlorophyll Sweepers after you have your own buff. Feel what I'm saying? Like, because you're not going to catch them like this. So you also got to crunch numbers to figure out an optimal set. So those speed EVs where I saved to allow me to get like a more optimal, like, you know, allow me to, bro, I'm just saying, all I did was I invested those extra speed EVs somewhere else. But it doesn't change that much. Like, his coverage is just, as a Pokemon, he's situational AF, man. You have to work around him. He's easy to take out, bro. Like, bro, all you need to do is pop the balloon and like, he's done, bro. And like, frankly, you don't even need the balloon gone because he is pretty frail as is if you have a heavy hitter, bro. Like, I'm looking at this team. It's like, who on this team? Bro, even Gastrodon will dispose of his ass, bro. What is Drain Punch doing to you, bro? You're gonna Ice Beam it and then Earth Power one time, bro. Like, this team, like, that's what I'm saying. I stopped using this, but there are some synergies that you could try and pull off. It's just, not all of them are as good as others. Another synergy. Does that work at level 15? Pretty sure it does. I can verify it for you, and we can find out. So we have Dragapult, and we have who was I just talking about? Oh, Klinklang? Wait, no, fucking Toxicity. Alright, doesn't matter which one. So base 75 speed. So we are at 211. We are at 211. Okay, and then Dragapult would be max. So, now if we bring him up to level 50, pretty much how it works is shift gear doubles your speed. So whatever twice my value is, So, now that we figured out that my speed is 108, Dragapult is 213. So me, when I double my speed, I will be 216. So I will still outspeed him. I will still outspeed him. So yeah, it seems like the scaling, it does scale differently when you go, oh, someone's calling me. Yeah! Sorry about that. Gotta be right back.
take you to the tribe real quick. I'm from that small city called Panorama, where the vatos roam and they blast their hammers. Never had no sense, so I'm bad with manners. Who'da thought I'd be living life in the fashion cameras? Got bitches on my nuts like pubics. Niggas can never figure me out like Rubik's. I be bullying everybody like I'm Brutus, so don't underestimate me. I do this, truest. I'm calm and ill, but still drop bombs. I kill. You know the deal with my godly skills. You wanna jog the field, and my shoes is a lot to fill. It won't happen, you cannot be real. Man, there's so many rappers that wanna catch my face. So many bitches that wanna snatch my brain.
Yeah, as I told you guys, that's what took me so long to start the stream. Like, I was actually doing things like I put some pork ribs in the oven, so I had to like go and just flip them real quick. I got like maybe 20-30 minutes left on them, then I gotta go back. And also, I am expecting to have to leave as well any minute. Not like now, later too. Probably like around when I'm gonna take out the ribs from the oven. So like maybe 20 minutes or so. I'll probably end the stream, depending on whether or not I have to go then. But for now, I'm here. That's the blanket that I think it is. He's a man that comes for pod. Bro, it is. It definitely is. Oh man, it's so comfy too. But you know what the problem is that the first time I washed it, I put it in the dryer a little bit too long. So like the fleece kind of shrunk a bit. So it's not as fluffy as when I first had it. It's still fluffy, but it's not as fluffy. You know what I mean? But at least it won't shrink anymore. But yeah. Well, not the first time, the second time. The first time I put it in the dryer was fine, cause like I cared for it a lot, and the second time I just tossed it in there, and like I had like let it red and dry with the rest of the clothes, and then that's when. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, like, I mean, I was just talking about other strategies. Like telepathy is just an ability which like allows you to get away from taking damage from your teammates. A lot of people know that. So how to capitalize on that? Just think about what you're weak against, and then think of moves which kind of affect everyone for that type. You know, so like moves like Sludge Wave is good for hitting grass types and fairy types. So if you have a teammate who has like a weakness to either of those, and a resistance or immunity, how do I explain it? A telepathy Pokemon would be able to allow you to spam those moves, you know. And then if they have a weakness on top of that, and like the move that you're using has an advantage against that type that they're weak against, and like it kind of makes them a more powerful partner, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, surely you can look at it like, okay, I have a Choice Specs Torkoal with Drought, and then a Ninetales with Drought, or freaking fine, we can go even bigger brain. Let's say that we have a Drought. Nah, that's too big brain. Fine, we'll go medium big brain. So let's say we have a Drought Torkoal here, all right, and then we have like a Flash Fire Chandelure or a Flash Fire Growlithe beside it. Okay, so you're getting buffed. That's too big brain though. That's too big brain. That's kind of like still kind of like end game. That's still kind of like what I'm getting to, you know. Shit, that was kind of what I wanted to get to. That's kind of what I wanted to get to. I kind of skipped over it too early. So what I wanted to say is that simply things like just using the Torkoal by itself and then using Lava Plume. Oh, I can't use this example because Lava Plume burns yourself, so like you can't really use it on anything that isn't straight up immune to it. So that's the only example that you can use. But then what I'll say, there's an example. Drought Torkoal, and then you add your Flash Fire Pokemon. You get double buff because you get the Sun buff, and then you get the Flash Fire buff on top of your stab. So it's technically a triple buff. So if you have an Arcanine with Flash Fire and then give it Flare Blitz, bro, that's gonna kill yourself. But maybe like a Chandelure now with Flash Fire. You give that thing Heat Wave with a Specs on top of that. What? Flash Fire, bro? What? Yo, okay, hold on. Let's get nastier than that. How about, how can we make that nastier? Maybe like a Trick Room set. Like Trick Room, you know, so that the Torkoal moves first. And, oh no, but yeah, you'll still move after. So Trick Room on the Chandelure, so the Torkoal will buff you before you attack. But then how do you get the Specs buff on top of that? The only way for you to get any sort of buff in that stage is to use like a Life Orb or a Charcoal, something like that. So either Life Orb, Trick Room, Chandelure, or Room Service. Maybe Room Service, Chandelure if you want to go that route, but I still think either of them works. I think Life Orb is better, because like think of it, Life Orb plus the Flash Fire buff plus the Sun and then the Stab, that's pretty much 1.5 2x 2.5 plus 1.8 2.8x. That's bullshit. That's more than that, isn't it? Hold on. It is more than that. I'm missing Stab. So Stab is 1.5, Sun is 2, Flash Fire is 2.5, Life Orb, what the fuck? 2.8. I still got the 2.8 again? It's really 2.8 times damage that you're doing? That's still a lot. but that's essentially, technically that's like 0.2 away from 2 swords dances. Think of it like that. So like you're doing that much less than 2 swords dances, or plus 4. You're doing 20% less damage than plus 4 with that setup, which is insane. Plus 4, dude. You're literally at plus 3 point. You're at 3 point something. You're over plus 3.5 technically. You're like at 3.7. That's a lot for not having to buff. All you have to do is set up a trick room and boom, you're just firing those. So like, if they don't have something that resists it, that's pretty good. So that's pretty nice. What's another cool doubles thing? I mean, people were talking about the Justified Lucario. That's been a thing. DV mentioned to me the other day about Justified Cobalion. That was pretty cool. I didn't know about that strategy. But then it comes down to Justified itself. Like, you can just beat up on any Justified as a physical attacker. I just never thought about how Cobalion could have been so useful against a Monotype Fairy team in that way. Because like he mentioned how it could be used with an Assault Vest, and like, oh yeah, that would definitely work. So that's the thing. Like, when it comes to Monotype teams, it's a little bit differently. You gotta think. You know, you're not really gonna be running Assault Vest Cobalion on like a normal team. But on Mono, it might be really worth investing, especially for Steel, because you need an answer to like freaking fire types. At least you can switch it in. Sponge a Fire Blast, Sponge a Flamethrower, especially if it's from the likes of a Turkis, which doesn't have stab on it, and which you outspeed. So even if it nasty plotted or whatever, then you know you can handle it. The whole point is like, it was super viable in that situation. You know, so it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like this whole Flash Fire Chandelure here with the Drought Torkoal, this is all a thing. The whole Trick Room. I didn't give it 0 speed though. I left it like this because I don't want it to be too slow. I want it to be able to like outspeed like Corviknight and shit like that. Because like, you know, at the end of the day, if Trick Room is up, you're still gonna outspeed Corviknight. But at least, you know, you have both these spectrums. You have like the ability to be faster and slower than it. You know, like you cover more speed spectrums on the same thing. If both of these guys were super slow, then you only have slow. At least this way, I have faster and slower. It's not even that fast, and that's why I say you could use Room Service and make it run like a Modest Nature with Room Service, or even a Timid Nature with Room Service. You want to be so ballsy as to kind of hinder your own like your own damage output, but you can run Modest Nature, you know, with like speed EVs instead of HP, and still run the Room Service, I mean. And like when you use Room Service, it will still lower you to a speed level where you're like not too slow, but it's kind of dumb because it brings you right back to this point right here. You feel me? So the only place it really benefits you is that if you were to use a Chandelure to like kill something like that was just faster than Torkoal. So like any like freaking water type, like a Blastoise or whatever, that was faster than you and it threatened it, then you can proceed to kill it with like Energy Ball or whatnot. But in that scenario, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's just so nichey. You know what I mean? Like I can explain it, but it just comes down to, I simply chose to do it like this because in more scenarios it just makes more sense to do this. It comes back to control in the battle. You see why it's so important to have the control the spectrums, because Torkoal here with Lava Plume, it attacks everyone. So regardless, I'm attacking the Corviknight who I attack faster than, and then I'm still attacking the other Pokemon which I attack slower than. So I'm still hitting both Pokemon, even if, you know, the other Pokemon that I'm with is faster or slower. It doesn't matter. So due to that, I'm not so worried about making this guy cover the 256 speed which he could have right off the bat. I'm not really worried about that too much, you know. I'm more so worried about like the direct instant threats such as like Excadrill, who has access to Earthquake and can hit me. You know, that's why Air Balloon on this is more viable, because you have a high physically defensive stat. You can actually stay in on that and handle yourself, right? That's a scenario, but if I was in that position, I would really just use my Charizard, and I also have a Rotom too. Like, I'm talking about a mono fire team. Like, they're both on it along with the Arcanine. There's an Arcanine here, and there's some other Pokemon in here. There's some others, I can't remember, like, it's somewhere in my showdown or whatnot. But yeah, like, that was an example of a team, so it's like, oh, Ninetales was it. Yeah, it was Ninetales. So Arcanine and Ninetales, wherever the fuck it is. Bro, it was these two actually. was actually these two, wasn't it? Solar power. Yo, you have Tailwind, so now it's this one. This one's the G-Max Charizard. I wanted to have a G-Max Charizard with Tailwind, but it turns out that Charizard only gets Tailwind from like a previous generation when the G-Maxes weren't available, so I'm forced to use a regular-ass Charizard for Tailwind. So pretty much how this works is that you have Drought, Solar Beam to handle your water types, yada yada. But the whole point here is to Calm Mind and Substitute. That's how you work. Calm Mind and Substitute. So essentially you can substitute stall whatever the opponent's doing. So like if you have Drought up and then like they change the weather to like rain or sandstorm, you can just simply substitute to stall it out. As long as they don't have like a Sand Rush or a Swift Swim Pokemon, then obviously you're gonna have to like, you know, play around that. I mean, for me there are methods that I have to play around that. I only have, well, I shouldn't say I do have the 2 weather setters, which I think is important because as I mentioned in doubles you can change the weather just by switching in, and then you can keep this Pokemon active, so I can change the weather like that. But then for dealing with water, I also have access to my light screen. Then the weather changing, that's also helpful. There are no water absorbed Pokemon, so that's an issue, but you want to be able to counter ground and rock. I have nothing to answer for rock. There's no abilities that compensate for rock. The only thing that you can do is have a Pokemon that's like part fire and then part resistant to rock to make you neutral to it. That's the best you can do. And the Pokemon that were like that, I felt didn't fit on this team well enough to make me use it in the first place. So I'm kind of sitting with a team which is here with everyone weak, at least 2 times weak to rock. Which is pretty tough. And that's why this team I don't use too much. But it doesn't mean you can't use it. Doesn't mean it's shit. You just gotta figure out how to work and, you know, make it the best you can. So this is what I kind of came up with. It's not the best or anything like that, but it's like it gives you a solid answer. Tailwind is kind of there to help you answer for the Excadrills and Tyranitar, because it's like I don't necessarily have to switch in. I can just simply use Tailwind, and now I'm able to outspeed the Excadrill while he's in the Sandstorm, and I can still proceed to kill him because I have dual heat waves. You know what I mean? But it's just the fact that if it's a Tyranitar Excadrill versus Ninetales Charizard, then that turn Tyranitar wins the Weather War, and for that reason, it's like, okay, you have to switch out into Rotom, and then Tyranitar's getting off a free Rock Slide, which you have no way of dealing with. So what the fuck are you doing there? So then what, you switch in both Torkoal and Rotom, then you're getting 2 free hits off, and you don't change the weather situation. So then, you see what I'm saying? Like, those are things which will fuck you indefinitely. There's nothing that you can do to get out of it. And it's like, you kind of gotta think about these things. You gotta look at it beforehand and be like, okay, like, what do I do if I'm in these scenarios? You know? You gotta kind of think about what fucks you, because it's only when you're getting fucked that you get fucked. Make sense? So, think about how to avoid getting fucked. Big brain. So, I mean, bruh, like, Citrus Berry is just there. I mean, it helps you restore the help that you're losing from Substitute. Calm Mind allows you to sponge the Hydro Pumps better, and the Earth Power is better from things like, you know, Gastrodon, Lapras, and stuff. This can literally hold its own up against Lapras and stuff. Because of the Calm Mind, you know, due to Calm Mind, it's able to get to +2, +3, +4, no problem. If they don't have a physical attacker, they can't do anything to you. So that's what's really important. The Substitute and Calm Mind literally allows you to spend the turn charging the Solar Beam. You guys will be like, what the hell, that's ridiculous. Nah. I'm telling you, normally you don't do that. Normally it doesn't come down to that. But if it comes down to it, a +2 or +3 special defense, bro, you can afford to eat a Hydro Pump from a Rotom Wash or a Lapras, and you're just gonna shrug it off, and you're gonna fire off a Sylveon next turn. The only difference is that you're not guaranteed to get it off because they might switch out. That's the only thing. But it's like, the whole point is you're able to literally live what's supposed to kill you. You're no longer afraid of what kills you. When you're at that point, then it's like, yo, it's good. So you kind of want to try and build a Pokemon like that, you know? Like, you kind of need the Sash because you're just weak to so many things. From Sucker Punch that's able to just one-shot you, to like Earthquakes, and you're just so susceptible to getting one-shotted. And even with a max HP, max special attack build, it's still easy to get one-shotted. So for that reason, I gave it the Sash so it at least gets the Trick Room up, and then is able to at least get that one Heat Wave off or one Shadow Ball off or whatever. And that's the thing, due to it not having any buffs, like no choice specs, no life or whatnot, it's really hard for it to get those one-shot kills if the sun is not already up. you know, or if they're not already weakened. Because Shadow Ball is actually your weakest move here in a sense. Because like Energy Ball, you're gonna be using it against like Gastrodon the likes. I mean, if you're using that against Rotom Wash, I'd rather be using like a Ninetales, you know, or anything else against the Rotom Wash. But yeah, if it's like Gastrodon or whatnot, then I would definitely be using Chandelure. That's a pretty respectable matchup there. But at the end of the day, Gastrodon still handles Chandelure if it has a Rindo Berry. And Chakroom, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's what I'm saying. This team, it's really like all these inconveniences and like how easy it is to like just change how effectively a team can function and capitalize on their strengths determines like, you know, their tier and like how effective they can be in the meta and shit. And due to that reason, I don't use this team as much. It's just easy to throw off guard. It's relatively straightforward. It's easy to acknowledge that, yo, you need frickin' sun to hit me. If you have rain, your team is fucked. Like, you don't need rocket science to know that. You don't need rocket science to like figure out how to bring down a team like this or any mono team for that fact. If you just have the ability to spam its weakness, but it just comes down to like accepting that challenge and working with it, accepting just all of it, you know, being able to look at it, identify your weaknesses, try your best to overcome it. That's what I'm saying. Due to the fact that everyone is so weak to Stone Edge and Rock Slide, which is so easily spammable, run Reflect. That's why Reflect is more useful than Will-O-Wisp, because Will-O-Wisp only affects the one Pokemon. Reflect affects them all. Surely it lasts over a couple turns, but you have the Light Clay, so that kind of makes it more worth it. It affects both Pokemon like on your team. It's just, in this scenario, Reflect is more reliable and it's just better than Will-O-Wisp. It's not always the case. It's not always the case. It's really not always the case. Alright, Will-O-Wisp is better than Reflect in sometimes. Trust me. So, like, for a team like this, where, like, you can easily just set up a Pelipper and then get a Swift Swim Speeper, you can easily set up a Dracovish with Fish's Rend, bro, frickin' Excadrill Sandrush, you need Light Screen, you need Reflect, or else this team will just get fucked. And that's the thing, when you see a Rotom with a Light Clay running Light Screen and Reflect, people start shaking, because they're like, holy shit, I'm not gonna be able to kill him, holy shit, this is different, this is not going how I expected it. You know, and when you get the win, they're just like utterly shocked, and you're just like, yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because like you thought about it. You're like, I literally ran it like this for this specific reason, and I caught you, bitch. It's literally like that. And like when you get those moments, it just encourages you to like delve deeper into it and like find out all these things. It's fun. But yeah, like as I said, even though monotype and all that shit's like its own tier, there are only so many types which are actually worth really running and like sticking with, you know, and like I can probably count them on my hand, so yeah, it's not like it's even worth investing in teams for every type. I definitely didn't do that for this generation. I've done that for previous generation, and due to that, it's definitely helped me gain a lot of insight for a lot of things, but it takes time. It's not like you just learn this shit in a day, but if there's anything that you guys want to know, just let me know. Like someone mentioned Aegislash. I could show Aegislash how I'm running him, I guess, if I have it on this one. I don't. Where is he? Well, I have him somewhere. Where are you, buddy? Do I have to do it the search way? I don't think so. Was it one of these? It was one of these. One of them. This one I gave it a little bit of defense. I was like, it gains attack from weakness policy. And like when you multiply that by 2, it's like at a 400 attack stats. It's a little bit respectable. It's not too bad. Not too bad, but nah. I mean, you can change up your set. I'm running weakness policy with these moves for maximum coverage. Alright. The set that you guys use varies. I'm interested in that Fat Whale. Fat Whale I never actually finished building a set for, but I can go ahead and do it on Showdown for a theoretical build. Talk about strategy. But yeah, like Aegislash, I think it's better for us to move over to Showdown so we can like actually look at things for like what they are better. What I mean by that is like we can actually just like go to Showdown, because like there are like other sets which you can use, and I kind of want to show you guys like why like why is the case, because there's some scenarios where you'd want to use other things over others, and it's like you kind of gotta look at your own team composition, see what you guys struggle from, and then based on that, see what you struggle from. That will determine what move to use. People are like, oh, you can run Fire Blast, oh, you can run Ice Beam, oh, you can run Thunderbolt. It's like, yeah, but what does your team need? Do you need another Pokemon Ice Beam, or do you need another Pokemon with Thunderbolt? You know what I'm saying? So I chose it to run like this because for my team I need it like this. I'm running it for a monotype. Oh, I went back. Okay, so I'm running it for a monotype ghost team, right? So I'm weak to the dark type. All 6 of my Pokemon, except for my ace, is weak to the dark type. Okay, you guys are aware of that. It's how it is. So close combat is necessary for me. It's necessary for me. Shadow Claw is not necessary for me on a ghost type team where I have 6 Pokemon with stab ghost attacks. I don't need Shadow Sneak and Shadow Claw, bro. I'll let Gengar handle that. I'll let Dragapult handle that. I'll let any other Pokemon handle the ghost type attacking. But when it comes to dark types, I need the ability to counter dark types, and for that reason, that's why I chose close combat over Shadow Claw. That's really it. It's like it's either Shadow Claw or close combat. That's really it. Iron Head is preferred over Gyro Ball if you're running Trick Room because you have the chance to flinch them. If you're not going to be attacking first, then you're going, like, if you're not running Trick Room, then it's better to use Gyro Ball because you're most likely going to get more speed, because most things Aegislash is slower than by a fair margin. At least what you're going to be attacking. Like, most ice types are faster than you. Like, Overlook is not fast, surely, but a lot of ice types are fast, alright? Even like a Rotom in Ice form, which you don't see, is still respectively fast. But if you start thinking about like a Alolan Ninetales, Weavile, Cloyster, that's when I start like talking about speedy ones. But that's just to say that there are speedy ones. And it's like due to that you want to pretty much it just comes down to making use of everything. Iron Head has a chance to flinch, and you can't flinch someone if you attack after them. It's just that simple. So unless you can attack first, which you can't unless you have Trick Room, it doesn't make sense to run Iron Head over Gyro Ball. It's just that, because Gyro Ball generally does more damage because this Pokemon has a low base speed stat, and against most of the matchups, it's gonna have a wider discrepancy between speed stats. So it's generally gonna hit harder with Gyro Ball than Iron Head. It's just because it's for a Trick Room team, I want to have that flinch chance. That's why you gotta choose. It depends on the team. So this is a little bit of beforehand thought. This is more on the team building aspect. This is not so much getting yourself out of sticky situations. This is more so preventing yourself from getting into sticky situations, because you kind of have the team that's like compensating for it. You know, I'm not getting affected by a dark team because I now have a +2 Aegislash, which is only +2 because they decided to use Dark Pulse on me, by the way. But now I'm in Trick Room, you know, and I have close comrades ready to start sweeping or fucking shit up. I'm in that position because I thought like this, you know what I mean? So that's why Aegislash is like that. But again, you can choose to swap close combat for Shadow Claw. That gives you a reliable stab against pretty much everything. The only thing that really walls you at that point is like, what, bro? Like Ferrothorn? Ferrothorn's gonna wall any physical attacker, really. Like, it's just, you know, look at your team, think what you need. But when it comes to Aegislash, how to use him though, I can explain that how to use him. Well, pretty much when you switch him in, he is defense form, so you don't need to use King Shield, but you do get access to King Shield. Pretty much how to use Aegislash is he's good as a revenge killer, so you can switch him in on a weakened opponent, use Shadow Sneak, he's really good for that. Another way to switch him in is to bait and sweep, as I mentioned. So for example, if let's say you have a Pokemon like who's weak to a dark type attack, like I mentioned, like a Gengar, right? I'm against a Hydreigon. By the way, I wouldn't actually be afraid of Hydreigon if I was Gengar, because freaking this, wait, where is it? Wait, where is it? Where is my Gengar? I want to show you. This one. Yeah, this one has an expert belt with Dazzling Gleam, so I can actually go up against dark type Pokemon, including Hydreigon in Dynamax form, without a nasty plot buff, and still proceed to fuck his shit. And again, on a ghost team, you don't really need to have overlapping stabs, ghost types. In fact, Destiny Bond's a little bit better, because at least you guarantee that you're taking something down. So that's that. But like pretty much due to that, that also further justifies my decision of kind of why I'm running certain sets on things. Where the fuck is my Aegislash again? It's like here, isn't it? It's like here somewhere, brother. Okay, so what I was saying is that you can have him bait. So like if I was against a Pokemon that's weak to dark types, I was just using Gengar for an example. I wouldn't generally switch it out because I have a way to handle Hydreigon, but let's say I decide to switch out of his anticipated Dark Pulse, and I switched into Aegislash. That gives me the weakness policy buff right on the switching. So like you can use Aegislash to pivot. So like you can switch him in on things which he is weak against, and due to his ability, he has a higher defense stat, so you can freely switch him in on things he's weak against, so you're not going to take much damage. And then from there you can proceed to switch using his ability and attack. And your buff stats are going to apply to your attack, so you're going to be doing a lot more damage. And then you can also switch back using King's Shield to defend yourself if you need to, like if they bring in something which threatens you, if you want to scout, whatever. It doesn't protect you against status moves, but that's generally how you use Aegislash. His goal is to kind of go with the flow. He's not really meant to put crazy pressure on the opponent. That's not really his job. His job is mostly to pivot and kind of scout the opponent, kind of piss them off, you know? It's like you come in, you take his attack, and you buff off of it. And then from there you either proceed to kill the Pokemon which trigger the buff, or they switch out and they bring something to counter you. So then you attack their counter, and then from there you would either attack it again if you can kill it, or you would King's Shield and scout to see what they do. You know, that's if they even have a counter. If they don't have a counter, then they're kind of screwed. But it's a little bit different for Aegislash because he doesn't have the most speed, so you need Trick Room, and that's why he's like this with 0 speed. Cause I run him in a Trick Room team, and that's why again he's running Iron Head, cause he's meant to attack first, he's meant to sweep, he's meant to get flinches and just do damage, bruh. So that's how Aegislash, in my opinion, should be run. He should be used as a pivot. You know, his ability itself turns him between an offensive and a defensive mod. Okay, so he's best suited when you give him an item which boosts his offensive capabilities. You know, with a moveset which allows him to at least be of use, you know, so priority allows him to be useful without the buff, so he's at least not dead weight. You at least have a reason to bring him in on a situation, okay? He's not just gonna be fodder in vain. From there you have like some decent stab moves like Close Combat, Iron Head that are solid, well performers, you know, he's really good typing too, so you can easily switch him in. So when it really comes down to using Aegislash, it's just making sure that the things which he can't sweep are gone. You know, like make sure that before you sacrifice your weakness policy, because you only get to use it once, make sure that the things which he can't overcome, like the Toxapexes and shit, are gone. You feel me? Make sure that they're gone, because it doesn't matter if you're at +2, Toxapex is going to come in and scald on your ass, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. You could go ahead and run a special set running Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon instead, but the special move, I mean, the Close Combat's going to be at the swap for Shadow Sneak. And it's going to be a little bit different. It's not a bad set at all. Like Shadow Ball Flash Cannon is amazing. But yeah, that Close Combat, technically you could still run Close Combat too. It just means you'll be running the priority. It's going to be a little bit more of a mixed attacker. It's not going to be hitting as hard. So Tyranitar and Hydreigon, the things which you would be using Close Combat on in the first place, won't really be getting one-shotted by them. So this is not really ideal to mix it with Close Combat. It's either you run a physical with Close Combat or special with the Flash Cannon, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Ball route. Feel me, or whatever, but like those are just movesets. Movesets do dictate how it's used, but yeah, just work with it, you know, try and like figure out when the best time is to like pivot between defense and offense. Just make sure his checks are gone, and you'll be free to use him freely, you know. He's pretty good at handling hits. He can take blows, you know. He can go one-on-one with things, because like King's Shield allows him to buff the defense, and then he can switch offensively and deal bigger hits. Like, it's just that on that turn when he's dishing, if he attacks first and they don't die, then they're hitting you for a lot more damage because your defense is weakened, you know. So he's better as a retaliator or a straight up sweeper. So he's really good, man. He's really good. He's super versatile. Really, that's what makes it hard to use Aegislash. Just do the fact that he's versatile. He can work as something which attacks second in the turn, and he can work as something which attacks first in the turn. It's just super versatile, so it's just situational. That's all really. super situational, but I mean, yeah, man, it's just that's how I'd say use him, bro. Like, plus attack nature. How did I EV him? Yeah, max HP. So this is for a trick room build, but either way, you never want max SP on Aegislash. Yeah, this is the other one. I don't know how much those number differences matter. Like, I can't say like I remember vividly that changing the numbers made me survive something crucial. I can't remember that. Maybe it did. I don't remember. I can't remember that specific calculation off the top of my head. So I'm not gonna say it does. I'm not gonna say that this makes a big difference. You know, I don't know. I need to crank numbers, but I need to check on the oven. Man of culture, you say. Holy moly. Absolute insanity, bro. Man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I had to leave you guys like that. Man, but yeah. I also got, well, someone else put some rice and peas on to go with the food that I was making. Cause I'm making some pork ribs, and it's like, yo, I had to now like go mix that up, and then freaking deal with that. I'm like, okay. So that took longer, but the ribs are done now. So I'm gonna eat soon, cause I haven't eaten since I woke up. I guess I'll just do another battle before I call it. We shall. First off, I definitely wanna know if you guys have any other questions that you want to address and stuff. Do speak up for sure, but you can try out this team, maybe. Wait, we never even used this team yet. Fuck. Let's go, bro. We didn't even use that team yet. I love this song. Pretty nice song. Alrighty. Dan Peter Pan is the man. Is this a doubles team? Okay, it's a doubles team. Okay. Okay. I'm good. Whoa. Marshadow Melmetal. Ooh. Volt Absorb. Yo, I kinda just wanna straight up just start, bruh. Scarfcher Kovish. It's everything, and then Jolteon's needed for like everything else. Volt Switch Pelipper. Scarfcher Kovish goes first. Who? Oh, Clefairy's worried about that. Pelipper, what this? Pelipper, okay. Alrighty. Best lead is Rotom and Ludicolo. So, let's go. Took me a little bit of time to figure that out. Man, I had to go through like all of his leads and like figure out like what lead could he possibly use to like fuck me up. But yeah, we're good. It doesn't matter what he brings out. With this specific lineup, I wanted to do a more offensive lineup, but that's when it started mattering. Because if I brought that and then a certain Pokemon came, then it would have been a little bit sticky. But this one's more versatile. This one's much more versatile. So we can go for a. We can go A, B. Clefable shouldn't have a solid answer for Ludi. If we don't fake out though, that will be problematic. I'm just worried about what that Clefable does. I'm worried about what that Clefable does. Deep down, brusky. Worried about what that Clefable does, brother. If it hits me hard. If he Pyro Ball max flares, holy fuck. But I don't think so. Wait, he has a gunk shot. Oh! Oh, okay, please don't kill my Ludi, bro. No, not Ludi, bro, not Ludi, bro. Bro, if he has max ooze, bro, I'm gonna freaking wait, or even max flutterby. Oh, max airstream, that too. Either way, I totally forgot. Oh my god. But yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was considering switching over to Pelipper, because then I could have gained the speed buff. But then that's why I was worried about Clefable, because I didn't know what Clefable was gonna do. So it's a cosmic power set. It's not an offensive set. Okay, that's fine. Well, he has +1 speed. That doesn't mean shit. Bro, I got options, bro. I got Scarf Vish, bro. You still can't do shit to that. But then he has that, yeah. That Clefable backs him up too well. Vish can't focus something without losing to that Clefable. As long as no T-Bolt, then Pelipper is fine. Yeah, I'm getting dual stab from that. Let me just calculate this real quick. So you're 160, and you are +55, 165. So this is actually stronger. 165 versus 160. Talking about base powers. In the rain, that turns into dual stab. That hydro pump missed though. That Cinderace has some whatchamacallit, speed on it. Spell is so boring. Let's see. Hurricane and no, I'm gonna find someone else to battle. This game is just a little bit boring. I want to find someone who has a little bit of a more offensive team, because this one's just slow. I mean, he already wasted his Dynamax first turn. I still have my Dynamax left, and I still have like my full team of sweepers. I'm kind of looking for something a little bit more, what's the word? Lively. Yeah. This one was just too boring for me, bro. Like, I'm looking for something where I can show you guys some cool things I have going on this team. This team is a little bit more offensive than this one. This one's defensive. Like, this team here is like Water Absorb, Trick Room, Strength Sap, freaking Weakness Policy, Hydration, Rest. This is like defensive. This one is offensive. He is running like a team of like, I think it was Unaware, Cosmic Power, Clefable, and like, he wasted his Dynamax. I'm just not gonna play that game. It's gonna be boring. Too boring for me. I need to go check on the rice soon though. What? Oh. Yeah, that's so weird. Like earlier today when I was taking a walk, bro, there's like police like right in front of my house. Like literally, I open the front door, I look across the street, right in front of my house, bro. I'm like, why are y'all parked here? The fuck? I go on my walk, I come back, they're still there parked in the same spot. I'm like, what are y'all patrolling for? So random. It's not like they can't be there, it's just what though? It's like, I didn't see them get out or go and talk to anybody. It's not like they're doing anything, they're sitting there like patrolling. I'm like, what are you guys looking for? You for another black guy to harass? Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, no one calls you here. Why are you here, bro? Like, shit, man. not even funny, but it's true. This is gonna be, well, actually nah, I'll take this. This is more fun. Is it more fun? The Zacian. Ugh, those are powerful, man. This is a tricky one. I want to try Pelipper. I want to try Pelipper Ludicolo still, but it is super freaking risky. Fine. Bro, this is so risky, bro. Like, what if it's freaking... Nah, bro. There's too many checks to that. There's too many checks to that. If he starts off with his Intimidate, bro, and if he bro, nah. Zacian, Primarina, Incineroar, man. Bro, like, those all sponge Dracovish if he's debuffed. Worst case, you can maybe look at opponents and rank can be also somewhat. True. Yeah, you could. Gothitella's Bane. LOL. Lord. Man. I am, son. I don't like that Zacian, bro. Zacian's a freaking problem, bro. I have to use my Dynamax like turn 1, bro. I have to kill that thing quickly. Oh man. This is like the way I can get like the most power in like 1 turn. Hoping I can one-shot him with the rain, but he's a fucking Zacian, bro. Like, what the fuck? Is he even gonna die? Oh, let's go! 1 shot! Let's get it! Okay. So much? That would have killed me if I didn't Dynamax. These are freaking carrying. Whoa, those things are strong. Okay, I got this now, though. I already used my Dynamax. I mean, I have this. I have this. Signature doubles damage on D-Max. Damn, bro. So why didn't he freaking do that? That would have killed me. The fuck? Couldn't it have killed me then? I guess he never had Behemoth Bash or what? Wait. Oh no, it wouldn't have worked on me. Cause I'm water. Okay. Mew's here. And Zamazenta is just hitting me too hard. So. Thunder or Shadow Ball. If Zamazenta, he's not gonna die though. So Thunder. But then if he brings in a next mon, Shadow Ball could fuck me. Yeah, Thunder. Alright, Thunder it is. Wait a minute, isn't this bad? He's Dynamaxing a Mew. Yeah, that is kinda bad. But not... oh. Depends. If he's offensively built, that could be problematic. Because he's pretty bulky already, and then... he's not too weak either. Mew has decent offense, so... could be annoying to deal with still. Ah. So I should went for Shadow Ball. Well, that's okay. Thunder. Oh, synchronize. Wait. I can't paralyze myself. Hey! We won. Ooh, we lost. I'm like, we won. F. Bro, I was not expecting a poison move from Mew. That's totally unexpected. Absolutely unexpected. I'll hand that to you, bro. You caught me slipping, bro. Congratulations. I never would have expected a poison move. I mean, I know you get every TR, but good job. You caught me slipping. I wonder what that's useful for. I guess... I don't know. I guess this. That's why it's there, I guess. So... we have a little bit of rain left because I had the damp rock there. Mewtwo's in. Okay, cool. Shadow Ball it was, eh? Gotta hit that Mew with something. Holy shit. That thing is bulky. Dude, in the rain too? Jesus Christ, man. Wow, Mew, that's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Actual fucking ridiculousness. These Ubers, bro. Fuck, man. And he's not even using the right movesets, because you could be really fucking me up right now if you knew what you're doing. I mean, who the fuck runs Toxic on Mew, bro? I might, yo, after this battle, I'm done. No, I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm done after this, bro. It's not always like this, though. Sometimes you actually get some really good people. Trust. It's just inconsistent. Is there even a point? What does he have left? Primarina's wrecked. Incineroar's wrecked. I mean, this game is done. Well then. How many turns of rain do we have left? 5 turns, my goodness. Wow. Okay. Man, I wanted to see like this team overpower something, but it's like everything is living. Like they're all so bulky that they're just not getting overpowered. Like, dude, you lived a vicious rend from the first. Like I attacked first, you lived that in the rain, and that didn't even do like 50% damage. Huh? Specs Modest Thunder? Living with yellow health? What kind of stats are these, bro? The fuck? Ridiculous. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I bet he doesn't even have the fake out that I was freaking predicting. He doesn't. I don't even know, bro. Okay. That's gonna hit. Toxic. Hey. That Mewtwo got a kill. Congrats, bro. Well, this team didn't get to do anything in this one. Nothing else I can do. Oh, my button's stuck. Okay. So. Well, no, I don't feel any better winning this. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, it felt nice taking down the Zacian and Zamazenta. I think that felt nice, but seeing like the sets that he had on the Pokemon weren't so like optimal, that kind of killed the whole feeling of victory. If they were good sets, then it's like you could feel nice, but they weren't, so it's like it's really nothing. But I'm gonna eat some food, guys. Eat some food. Give me some pork ribs and rice. Thank you so much, guys, for like, you know, being here and chilling. I mean, I know that the guy who wanted the info about the Aegislash isn't here, so I don't really know how I'm gonna show it to him. I might have to like cut like a section of the stream and maybe post it. I don't know. Oh shit. There's been a thing. Yeah, ending the stream now. Alrighty guys, I just had to reply in the gym challenge server. Just wanted to see if anyone said something there. Maybe they lurked. Maybe. I'll just ask. Have a good day, my friend. I might stream later.